Welcome to Meet Me in the City, a podcast exploring music through the boroughs of America. Joined, as always, by my buddies and co-hosts, Dan and Sean. Gentlemen, how are we?
I'm doing fine.
Good?
Yeah. Just straight up.
Straight fine.
Really
Straight
good.
fine.
Really good?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
For the next guest.
All right.
Yeah. I am.
All right. So,
How are you first?
Yeah.
thanks for asking. That gets left off about 50% of the time, I would say.
All the time.
Well, no, you guys ask occasionally how I'm doing. I'm great because
60% of the time.
60% all the
every
time.
time.
It works every time.
Well, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited too for our guest today because we have not talked a whole lot of hip hop on this podcast, and they've only given me about 10 minutes to talk about jazz the whole time we've been doing this.
Oh,
They've only given me like 5 minutes to talk about my jam band stuff that I like, and we haven't talked anything about hip hop at all. No. So today is the day because we have with us Tino. Tino, how we doing today?
I'm doing well. I can't complain.
Good, man.
Nice.
Thank
The
you.
lady at the lunchroom at my job, she always says, "That's your famous catch line. You can't complain."
That's what I say all the time. It is.
That's good. I'm glad you can't complain.
Yeah.
We can't complain either. We're happy to have you and happy to talk about your life in music today. Just going to tee you up. I mean, I've already done some reading up on you and your life. I think we all have, but we'll hear it straight from you.
What did you read? Because I got to make sure I gotta vet this.
Oh, you don't want to know.
If there's information on me, I gotta go.
It's basic. It's
Okay.
basic. It's basic.
Something with the CIA. I
That's
don't
right.
know.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah, we don't have those kind of operatives on this podcast. We don't have that kind of budget.
What were you doing in Aruba? I just
Yeah.
wanna know.
I was in Aruba for my mother's 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I was teasing.
Legit.
I was teasing.
It was legit.
Yeah. What were you? Oh. So you didn't say it
You
serious.
said
enough.
CIA.
What were you
so I
doing in
said,
Aruba?
That's right. Yeah.
Did you bring everything? Did you declare everything as you into the customs?
You don't have to tell us.
It's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
serious. They're like 800. Did you buy anything $800 or
dude.
more?
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I look like I could buy anything
Right.
$800 or more?
I'm flying
bar-
economy, mother trucker.
I'm barely making it.
Yeah.
Lord knows if Spirit would have came here, I'd have been stranded.
That's
You wouldn't have got home if you took it.
We were just talking about it because I just got back from a trip too, and it was just like, man, you're overseas. They're so nice to you. They're so, you come back and it's just like, oh my God, you feel dirty.
Well, when
that's-
you're overseas, you
Yeah.
think they're nice to you, but you can't understand what they're
Well, there
saying.
you
When I was
go.
in France, I was like, this is lovely. I can't hear it. I don't know what anybody's saying around me. They could have been calling me everything in the book. True. It sounded cool.
Yeah.
You know?
There you are.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, Tino, tell us where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised.
I hear rocks up there. Sorry.
According to Drew.
That's right.
We should have prepared you for Dan, is what we should have done for this podcast.
Dad jokes.
I'm a purveyor of dad jokes.
Nice.
Ask my significant other,
See?
Rosie. She will tell you.
You guys can go back and forth because Dan will just drop something occasionally. So be prepared. Cleveland.
Indeed.
What was it like growing up in Cleveland?
Well, I was lucky enough to grow up with both of my parents. in Cleveland.
Nice.
So they protected me from a lot of things. I did grow up in a rough area. I grew up in the 143rd and Collinwood area.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, it never dawned on me. My mom used to tell me, if anything bad happens, don't call for help, yell fire, because people are more likely to care and pay attention if you say something's on fire and they think there's a chance for property damage than there is for them to care that you actually need help. And that never dawned on me that we lived in a bad, because you don't understand
don't know
that
when you're
until
growing up, right.
Yeah, you'd like, oh, this is just what people tell you.
Right.
And then my dad, he got a nice job. He worked for TRW. I don't know if they exist. He was a heat treat technician, and he worked a factory job majority of my childhood.
Okay.
And he got the TRW job, and then we moved to Euclid, and it was
Okay.
a suburb of Cleveland. And the first couple of nights there, I could not figure out why I could not sleep. I didn't know. I was like, and then on the third or fourth night, it dawned on me there was no noise. There's no sirens. There's no gunshots. There's no reckless behavior going on. So it was just too quiet. And something about that was unsettling to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And because you like go to sleep to this cacophony of noise
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
night, and then it was all of a sudden removed. So that was one of the things that, okay, I didn't grow up in the best of environments, but I had the best of people looking out for me.
That's great.
That is amazing, man.
Yeah.
That is. Was there music in your house growing up?
I grew up in a church household. My
Oh,
dad was a
cool.
minister.
Oh,
His
really?
dad was a minister.
So wait. He worked. So he was like bivocational, and he worked full time.
He worked full time, and he was a minister during. I think he became a minister when I was like 7 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
But and so he also played drums. My dad played drums, and he played the organ.
Okay.
So he could do either at church. I mean, in my family, my grandparents' household, every kid had some kind of pretty much musical talent. Either you could sing or you
man.
played one or two instruments.
Wow.
Like my grandmother tried to teach everybody how to play piano
Okay.
or the organ. And then they picked up drums or keyboard or something or bass guitar or something like. My uncle plays bongos. Like they're like one of my uncles is like more famous around the city for being an organist. Like he wouldn't be at our church. My grandfather was like, I'm never going to pay you. So if you come here, don't even think about it. But he would get paid to play multiple services on
Oh, amazing.
Sundays.
Yeah.
So you grew up in it.
I grew up in a gospel setting. So I didn't know much about I loved Michael Jackson as a kid and stuff like that. But secular music never was like my dad at one point we used to we loved BET, so we were watching the hip hop videos. But then he caught us one time watching hip hop videos, so then he blocked BET, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "You don't have to go to that extreme."
Right.
But then that made you want to go, "Okay, why is he?"
That's
blocking
what
it?
I was gonna say. You
why
want
is
it
he
more.
blocking it? What? And then you're asking your friends, friends are giving you the CD, and it's like the unadulterated CD.
Oh,
so you're
yeah.
I like my 16-year-old cousin, whose dad was also a minister. Like he picked me up for my 13th birthday. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take you to buy you a chain at the Randall Park Mall or whatever." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then we get in his car, and he's got Ludacris's "Back for the First Time" album, and he's playing Fantasy. And I had never heard the unadulterated lyrics to Fantasy,
man.
and I was like, "Oh," I was like, I kind of kept looking at him, but he wasn't paying attention. I was like, are we allowed to be listening?
Oh my gosh.
They're saying words that I don't even know what they mean, but I know my dad would not approve of
Oh
me hearing.
man.
Did you get any CDs or tapes or anything?
I did have
taken?
some CDs. My dad snapped my sister's Destiny's Child CD. He
Oh,
found
wow.
it. He broke the Destiny's Child. It sounds like he was like a super religious zealot, but he wasn't. He wasn't like we would go to the movie, we could watch movies, watch TV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see a rated R movie. I didn't see a full rated R movie until I was like 16. I want to say he always watched everything before, and then if there was like a part that was like inappropriate, he like either fast forward or ask you to leave a room or something like that. But yeah, he broke my sister's Destiny's Child CD, and then my mom, she took my Doom. I had Doom on Super Nintendo, and she's like, "This is red and it's demonic people on the cover." She took it, she stashed it. I was like, "I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm sending these demons back to hell with this chainsaw and this shotgun." I was like, she was like, no, that's satanic, and so she put it away. But I mean, I just found it in a junk drawer and just took it back to my room. She forgot about it like a month
Of course
later.
you did. You stand in a long line of people who have had music and other things confiscated.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you tried to
We've
get
had
back.
a lot of people on. So tell us, what was your favorite gospel that you heard that you're like, oh man, that you may still like today?
I mean, I still listen to a lot of Commission because that was like my dad's favorite, which is like Marvin Sapp and Fred Hammond and those guys. I listened to. They were like the Boys the Men of Christian music. So Commission was like, and I think all of them went on like there's 4 guys and 2 at least went on to have like phenomenal careers, kind of like the gospel Justin Timberlake, except they were like 300 pounds and 6'2" or whatever. They weren't bringing sexy back. They were waiting for the Lord to come back.
Nice.
But those would be the guys that I still listen to because it'll make. My dad passed away. Actually, it would have been 11 years on Friday on the 5th. So But I'll put that stuff on because it was like stuff that he would play around the house or we drive around to. And then like at one point we had a Chrysler. It was a Claim. I want to say it's Chrysler Acclaim, and the Acclaim didn't have FM or AM radio, so you only had FM. So we only could listen to Christian radio. So then we listened to like Jackie Velasquez and and so we became real big fans of this stuff that people would consider like the church gospel. People were like, "Whoa, what is this? What is this?
Is horrible.
What is this? What is this milk toast music y'all listen to?" But no, we loved it. Like it was our favorite. And so stuff like that, I'll listen to that because it reminds me of my dad. And
Sure. You said everybody in the family played instruments. Did you have an instrument or two that you played?
Okay, so one time I tried, my grandmother was like, "Okay, come here, sit down at the piano." And then she's like, "This is how you play this chord." And she's like, and I was like, "Okay, boom." And then she said, "Oh, baby, you ain't got it." And then it's like she put the keys, the little cover back down on the keys, and then that was it. And at that point I was like, I just ain't got it.
My gosh,
I don't got it. So
grandparents can be.
She was a sweet lady, but she also wasn't going to waste her time.
Right.
If she thought you didn't have what it took. My dad played a lot of things by ear, so like it was crazy. Like he could listen to a song and then almost reproduce the song. And I was like, you have no formal real. Like my grandmother teach you the basics, but then after that you had to apply it yourself. But I didn't realize through osmosis I was absorbing a lot of things because my cousin the cousin who picked me up, he played drums. He learned how to play drums from my uncle, and we would sit behind my uncle at church while he played in that like drum cage. And so like I'm listening to all of these beats, I'm listening to all these rhythms, and like it's not dawning on me because I'm not trying to learn like him. I'm not trying to learn how to play drums.
Sure.
But somehow like the
Rhythm.
beat is in me, and I'm like, I still see that in like the cadences that I choose and stuff like that for my flow and stuff like that. I don't think if I had sat anywhere else in the church, then those years that I spent behind that cage, just listening to the beat like it so intently, would I have developed the kind of timing that I had.
Okay.
That's amazing.
And you absorb it all.
Yeah.
Right? It's all in here. It's like.
Yeah, and that age too. I mean, if you're in your teenage years, we've talked about this a bunch, how much those years go on to shape and form how you look at music in general the rest of your life. It's just this thing that I don't know what it is. There's got to be science behind it where when you're in your teenage years, all that stuff that you're hearing, absorbing, as you say, just sticks with you forever. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's funny because I look back at it and I was like, I didn't realize how much the church stuff had informed what it is that I do because like the way that I approach emceeing is more, I guess, like a minister does with the delivery and the showmanship. Like you could watch a preacher, and there's a difference between like a good preacher and a bad preacher, and there's a difference between a good MC and a bad MC. And sometimes it has nothing to do with what they're saying.
Sure.
It's just about how they approach the performance element of
Delivery.
it. And so I absorbed a lot of that from them without knowing.
Interesting.
Willie's a pastor here.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big Willie.
Yeah, I don't want you to judge whether I'm one of the good ones or the bad ones, though.
What's your cadence?
I will never tell you.
Talk about
It's all
milk
about
toast.
timing.
Hey, wait a second. What are you talking about here? So you had a very, very interesting childhood, moving from kind of inner city Cleveland to more of the suburbs.
Correct.
From noise to quiet. From maybe not as safe to safer. I mean, I don't know.
Somewhat safer.
Somewhat safer.
My dad says, okay, we moved into it was like a townhouse community that they had. And he said the day that he came by to inspect, they must have told all the people to be inside and be quiet. Because once we moved in, it was like little Cleveland at first. But when I think that was fine. But when we moved, it still wasn't nearly as loud as it was being in the inner city. Because, I mean, Willow Arms was only so big. It was only maybe like 200 or 300 houses. And then after that, there was not really another community that you could be anywhere near. But it was like the place that people go to transition into Euclid. Like you transition into Euclid. But then they bought a house. And then when we moved from there to the house, that was when it was like super eerie. Because it's like, whoa, there's like things shut down. There's supposed to be like an embargo on like activities after 9 o'clock.
I was just going to say 9 o'clock. That's it.
So did you? I'm torn on which way to go here. You end up in Dayton at some point.
Correct. I came here to go to school. I feel like everything leads to my dad. I did not mean to be at Wright State University.
Okay.
I didn't really have a plan for what I was going to do post-college or post-high school. He kind of came into my room one day. He's like, so, you got accepted to some schools, because he made me apply to some schools.
Okay.
And he's like, you got accepted to some schools. And there was one school that I got accepted to Tiffin, and they were going to give me an academic scholarship, but it was because I played football pretty decently. Because my grade point average was like a 2.2, which doesn't make any sense, because like if you looked at my grades, it'd be like, okay, a D in English, but then he had an A in physics, and then he had an A in math, but then he would have like, I would have history and I have like a D again, because it's like the only things that I would only apply myself to things that interest me.
That was me all the way, bro.
If I would have decided, because there was plenty of times it's like, if you just like, the teacher was like, you shouldn't even be in regular physics. You should be in AP physics. I was like, you know how much harder I would have to work in AP physics?
Just keep me right here.
Mr. Torelli, leave me right here.
Yeah, keep me right here.
But my dad was like, hey, these schools accepted you. Let's go take a visit. He said, let's go take a visit. This is like towards the end of August. So
what year was this?
This is 04, because I graduated in 04.
04.
Graduated in 04. And he's like, let's go take a look at some universities. Let's go take a look at some schools. And we're talking about, this is like August 25th. I'm like, okay.
Right before school's about to start.
School had already started. Like school,
I think
for
Wright
everybody
State
else,
starts.
but Wright State was the one school that was on quarters.
Oh, that's
so
right.
They didn't start until September.
That's right.
He knew this. So I get down to Wright State, and I'm like, okay. So I mean, everybody comes. The whole family comes, which is very weird. My sisters are there. I got 2 sisters. My mom, my dad. We all go down.
You the oldest?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Okay.
We get down there, and I'm like, okay, let's go check campus. They're like, oh well. You got a placement test in the morning and orientation after that. And I'm like, wait a second. You said, I don't even bring any clothes. I'm like, I didn't bring any clothes. I didn't bring any clothes. He's like, oh, we're going to go to the Walmart and we're going to get you some clothes.
This is a boarding school situation. He's sending you away.
He's like, this is the only school that you got accepted to that's still taking enrollment. And hey, you're going to start next weekend. So it's like September 1st or 2nd or whatever. Like right after, right before
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Somewhere
somewhere. Like, it was like, you're going to start. I was like, wait a second. I didn't sign up for this.
Wow.
He's like, well, you wasn't making no decisions, and I had to make a decision for you.
I love that, man.
Well, it worked out for like the first 2 quarters. And then I realized nobody's checking on me to see if I'm doing this work.
That's right.
Nobody cares if I go to these classes.
Freedom.
And then I was like, it was too much freedom for a church boy all at once. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut one class a week. I'm gonna cut this class once a week. It'll be fine.
And nothing happened, did it?
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's even better.
And then like the next quarter came around, and I was like, I might have had to withdraw because I might have cut too many classes. I was like, I don't want to get a F or anything like that, so I'm gonna withdraw. And then the next quarter comes around. I barely go to any of the classes, and I had to withdraw the whole thing. And then they're like, "Oh, you need to go on academic probation because you're not." I was like, "Oh no!" And then like they send a note, they're gonna send it to my house. She's like, "Oh, we'll put you on academic probation. You got 3 quarters to try and get your ad." I was like, "You sent that to my house?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I get in my car at this way, and I drive all the way back home to intercept the academic probation letter. My parents think I just showed up to like. Oh, say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How you going, guys? No.
I got any mail? Is there any mail here for me?
Wright State mail.
Right there, and I intercepted, and I was able to thwart that, but then I ended up dropping out of college. Actually, I'm an accomplished 3-time dropout.
Hey.
I went back to school trying to get back to like, they was like, okay, well, you didn't do this, but we'll put you on the SOAR program. I had dropped out. It was like, your grades weren't good enough. We'll put you on the SOAR program. You can come back to Wright State on your own. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come back on my own. But I also didn't, nothing was like, at 19 or 20 years old, all I really wanted to do at that time was play poker, because that was the poker craze.
I remember that. Hold'em.
No Limit Hold'em was taking over the nation, and play Halo. That's all I wanted to do at that time in my life. And it was only the first time I had ever been outside of my dad's house, and I was like doing what I wanted to do. And it just, I was like, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I started off, I was double E. I was going for electrical engineering, but then I ended up changing to computer science. And then I had some internships that my uncle set up for me in Indianapolis. He was a mechanical electrical. He was a project manager for a firm out there. And he's like, okay, you can come out here and do this. And so in the summer times, I would go do this. And I was like, I look at blueprints. I do like office work, stuff like that. But then I was like, I don't like this. None of this is what I want to do. And I kind of was caught in that phase. So I just dropped out again. And on the second time that I dropped out, that's when I started to find music. I was like around 24 years old, and my friend was getting married in Florida, and it was a destination wedding thing. And as dark as I may be, as melanated as I may be, there's a period of summertime where I can become more melanated.
Really?
And I tried. It was like a June or July wedding. I was trying to avoid what I call my summer darkness phase. Prematurely, because in Florida it was gonna happen a lot quicker. This is
already the funniest episode that we've had.
Yeah.
And
you got Mr. Albino over here.
Yeah, well, I was gonna compare notes, but we have some parallels. I don't get darker. I just get like pinker.
Yeah. I've experienced sunburn twice in my entire life.
Okay.
The first time it happened, I was maybe 13 or 14. My dad bought us passes to this pool, and he's like, the community pool. He's like, hey, you're going to be here from noon till 8 o'clock when I come pick you up. And that day, so I was there for 8 hours, and I didn't know at the time, like something hurt on my nose. I was like, maybe I scraped it on the wall or something, doing backflips or something like that. I didn't know. Then later on in life, I realized that day I had sunburn.
Yes, you did.
Like it was right here, and it hurt, and it was only in that one area, and I hadn't scraped myself, but I couldn't realize what it was. And then coming back from Aruba, I realized on the next day, I was like, my nose is like flaky.
Weird.
So, I got sunburn.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the maximum amount of sunburn. I was in Aruba on a boat for 8 hours, for 4 hours, and then we were out at the pool and stuff like that. Man. And I got this much sunburn.
All right, so 24 destination location.
Destination wedding. I'm inside waiting for the sun to go down while everybody else is outside. I'm like waiting for it to get more mellow because we're like, this is not me.
Yeah.
And while I'm inside, I'm like writing. I'm listening to a Big Crit album at that time, and I'm like, I start to write songs or start to write song lyrics. And it just wasn't an intent to write songs. I think I was doing Sudoku, and then I was like, I just started jotting stuff down. I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. But that was the first time I sat down and actually started writing lyrics. And then certain stuff started to become more personal that I was writing. And there was stuff that I wouldn't say out loud to other people. And I was like, something about this feels therapeutic. Mm-hmm. And so I kept doing that. So when they would go, it'd be noon, everybody's out there, 11 o'clock, everybody's out at the pool or at the beach. I'm in the building, listening to beats, and I'm writing songs that what would eventually become songs, because they just were like, at that time I had no idea of song structure or how long a bar is and stuff like that. So
you had scraps. Yeah. You were just putting down stuff.
Yeah, putting down
That's
stuff.
the first, wow. That's cool.
And so
that's like a milestone.
That's
in your
like
life.
2009, I want to say.
How old are you then?
At that point, I am 24 years old.
Wow.
Math is
18,
not the point of this
23.
podcast, so it's
no. I'm 23 years old at that point. Yeah, 23.
So you didn't do anything musically before that, except for Grandma telling you to not play.
Not play. I mean, there was a point where freestyle rap battle was really cool in high school, and I had like a couple of makeshift bars that if anybody tried to come at me, I had
You're
it
ready.
Yeah, I was ready. I was like, and people were like, "Whoa, why do you have that many of these bars memorized in your head?"
I mean, just in case.
Just in case.
That's right.
You know?
I never know. I never
don't
know
know.
who's gonna try and try me in these hallways. which is funny because like I know I played football with a guy. He ended up going on to be a pretty successful rapper in Cleveland. His name was Chip the Ripper. He goes by King Chip. But he like ended up, he was on the football team, and I tried, everybody said, "Oh, Chip raps. I was like, I'm trying to battle Chip. Where's
Oh my
he at?"
gosh.
And he would never try and like, he's like, "No, I ain't trying to do none of that like that." But little did I know, he was like cool with Kid Cudi and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And him and Kid Cudi have a few songs together. Yeah.
So he's basically friends with Joe Burrow then, I guess. Because
Burrow's a
by-
huge fan.
he's a huge fan of Kid Cudi.
by
yeah.
transitive properties, he is pretty much famous.
I don't know what transitive properties are, but we'll go with yes, sure. That's
fascinating to
way
me.
later
It
to
is,
the
yeah.
game than I
Yeah.
think anybody else we've talked to in terms of starting music. I mean, well, yeah, me, and that's what I'm saying. There's some interesting parallels because I may have one up to you. I was academically dismissed 5 times from school.
My man. Y'all can't see, but we just fist bumped right there.
And I got doctor in front of my name now, so there's that. Doctor, that's right. But that's pretty late to start. Even though you got the freestyle stuff in your back pocket.
But that was from like 17 years old, and
Yeah.
I didn't keep any of that
Yeah.
stuff. That's what was funny because a friend of mine, he was the RA at the at Wright State. He was the RA in the dorms, and he was from Cleveland, and he was a fan. At the time, I gave it up on hip hop because when I went home, and one year I went home, and my sister was like, "I don't like the way you talk to us anymore." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You just like it's like you don't respect women." And I had tried to figure out what was the change. And from when I went to
This
school,
is your sister?
my sister, my
Okay.
younger sister. Like,
Okay.
she's like at that point she might have been 16 or something like that. She's like, "I don't like the way you talk to me or mom or Aunt Swedick or anything like that."
Man.
She's like, "You just don't. It's like you don't respect us." And I was like, I had changed because I went to Wright State. They gave me Napster. It was free. It was like the real. It was like, but it was like when Napster tried to go legit
the real deal.
before they felt collapsed. And,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Napster was one of everything that streaming is. Napster right before it became a failed company. They were streaming, and we had like Wright State gave me like a thing. And I started listening to all of the rap that I could ever listen to. Lil Wayne, Too Short,
Life
all
is
kind
You
of
got,
too
you got
short.
Sprinkle over here nodding.
I like some Too Short.
listen to all kind of
Oakland.
Slim Thug, UGK, all kind of like grimy,
Yeah.
misogynistic
Yeah.
hip hop. And so like I realized that was like affecting who I was becoming. And so I kind of cut that out altogether in like, I want to say 2007.
Wait, so after you this is right before.
This was before.
before.
This was
Okay,
before
okay,
I
okay,
cut out
okay.
hip hop, like for the
Yeah.
most part. Like there was like I was still listening to. We don't say this man's name often.
I know you don't even
I
have to
think I
say
knew
it.
you
We
were
already
going to
know.
say.
He's got a direction in his name. I used to listen to that still.
Yay.
And I used to listen to I would listen to Common,
Yeah.
stuff like that was like not as it's not as problematic.
Right.
And so but what I had started having a love for is emo music. My friend Kurt, who was from Blanchester, Ohio, a land with one stop sign, he went to Wright State as well. He was my roommate, and my roommate's brother and him were roommates, and then we all ended up being in a 4-person pod together. And I would get in the car with Kurt, and he would play Fallout Boy, and I would think it was a joke because
I would too.
There are some people who still think that, but we're not going to say anything else there.
because I was like, this guy's got to be British because these words aren't making any sense.
Oh, my
He's like,
gosh.
I'm going blah 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 blah. I was like, what is obligate? And he was like, no, he said, I'm going sugar, we're going down in the earlier round. Sugar, we're going down swinging. I was like, he is not saying any of those words that you just said, sir.
It might be on the liner notes, but that ain't what he's
I
saying.
was like, he he's not saying any of those words. And I was like, this man's from England. He's like, no, he's from Chicago. I was like, no, I've been to Chicago. They don't sound like that up there. But what started off as a joke became like an obsession. I could not stop listening to, because I think at the time, like as a man, you're trying to like figure out who you are. But also I grew up where you had to kind of be a little bit tougher. And emo music was like the antithesis of that. It's like this girl broke my heart, and now I'm writing this whiny song about how she broke my heart. And like,
That's
and
my
I'm trying to
whole life.
rock.
and I didn't know. And like, I was like, we don't like. There's no music like R&B is like I'm getting over you or something like that. Like it's not,
or I'm not getting over you. I'm doing something else with you.
Yeah, or not getting. It's very seldom that you get just like this whole angsty.
For sure.
And so it was like helping me discover like really like my teenage years, even though I was like 20s at that point. It's like, oh, this is like, I loved it. I started falling in love with, I was like listening to My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy and Taking Back Sunday and Panic at the Disco. And like,
you're on like a whole little journey.
Oh, everything. But then I like the journey started getting heavier. It was like Bullet for My Valentine, and then it started.
Franco
and it was like
loves
Seven Dust, and then it was like Avenged Sevenfold, and then it started getting heavier, and then it was like Gwar, and it was Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, whoa! I think I reached Cannibal Corpse. It's like I got to go back. I got to go
Turn
back.
around.
I was like, Meat Hook Sodomy is not something that I can listen to an album called, so I got to go back the other way. But like, it was this journey I went through for like 2 years. And then Scott was like, hey, you know there's other hip hop other than what they play on the radio.
Yeah.
And it never dawned on me. Like, it never dawned on me that I could like go and search other things.
Right.
And he just started putting me on to all kind of stuff. He put me on to Camp Low and Tribe Called Quest.
Oh,
and
boy.
he started putting me on to Little Brother. And
Little Brother.
All of these great underground, MF Doom.
Yeah.
And I was listening to
He is a big MF Doom fan.
yeah, it's like, how can you not? Food. Like, it's just the best. And he started putting me on to all these great hip hop albums that I'd never heard of, all these artists I never, and I start listening, I start falling in love with hip hop again.
Yeah.
And that's when it starts sending me to like the blog sites looking for different new artists and different new acts and stuff like that. So that's how I found Big Crit, and that's how I ended up starting that musical journey.
Okay.
So you come back from Florida.
I come back from Florida,
Yeah.
and I start. I'm like, okay, who wants to hear this? I don't want to share this with anybody I know because people.
Hard to put yourself out there.
It's not. It's not that. It's like people you know will lie to you. Like, oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah,
Like,
we know.
I didn't lie to you.
Good friends will tell you to your face, "Hey man, that sucks."
Right.
Yeah.
Don't ever. Don't ever.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Not in
Don't
public.
do that. Stop.
But polite friends
That's
will be
true.
like, oh, that's cool. Like they'll like play it off. So I didn't want to like put this on people and then have them have to.
Yep.
Well, and what you said, I don't want to stop you, but what you said when you first
did.
started, I know, when you first started writing it down, you said it's almost like therapy. You're getting this stuff out. I can understand why you don't, you want to.
Yeah, it's personal.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so where can I take this where people will be unabashedly honest and I don't have to worry about them caring about my feelings? YouTube. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I started doing terrible laptop recording. So I would play the beat in the room.
You're making
and
the beat
record.
yourself?
No. I was like, these are like beats from mixtapes and stuff that I've been listening to. So I'm playing the beat out loud. I find a person who's uploaded the beat from that mixtape.
Okay.
And I play it on YouTube. But then I set the recording on my mic, the laptop
you're
mic,
doing-
to record. And I'm just doing it in air, in the room with all the sounds possible. And I got to do it in one take. Otherwise, it's terrible. Like, So I got to do it. I got to start all over again. So I'm doing this stuff in one take. And then I'm uploading it to YouTube. And people go, you know what? This would be all right if the sound quality didn't suck. But I was like, you said it would be all right.
Exactly.
And so majority of the time, 4 out of 5 people were saying they enjoyed it in some way. And there was that one person who's like, you just go ahead and hang yourself. Like, I'm like, but
Sounds like the internet.
But it was also my fault because I was like putting I would put the name of the song and I call it a remix or a freestyle or something. So somebody might be searching for a song and they come across what I did.
Okay.
And they're mad because it's not the thing that they were expecting.
Right.
But there was a majority of people who came across it was like, oh, this is incredible. And then they still are following stuff that I do to this day.
That's amazing, man.
Which is crazy. But once I got the okay from the internet, the most harsh place on earth, which is not even on earth, but
And not true.
It's true.
I took it to open mic. I was going to this place called One Eye Jacks. It used to be across
Yes.
from the Nutter Center.
Yeah.
So you're
And-
still in Dayton at this point.
Still in Dayton.
You already been
You've never
dismissed.
left.
I've never left Dayton,
You just
except
never
for
left Dayton.
brief stints to Aruba.
And
So
and
why
Aruba.
didn't you leave Dayton?
Huh?
Why did you not leave?
Because I was finding who I was becoming in Dayton. And I don't think if I went home, I could have tucked tail and went home. My dad would have accepted me, but I would have ended up becoming whatever. I had to conform to what it was that they wanted to be, me to be. And so I stayed here. I got jobs. I worked at Boston Market. I worked at the Sam's Club over there off of Pentagon. I worked at, I currently work at Reynolds and Reynolds, but I've been there for 10 years this month. But prior to that, I worked just Domino's. Back in the poker days, there was like a illegal poker spot over in Water Tower Lane called the Fraternal Order of Orioles that I got into.
That's right over by my house.
And I beat a guy out of a hand, an $800 hand, and he happened to be the general manager for the Domino's over in Kaufman's. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I don't really need a job because I do pretty good here, but can I? So I don't have to lie to my. So I don't have to
After
lie.
you just cashed him out.
I
I
cashed.
do pretty well here, but just in case.
Shout out to Kaz if he's listening to this. I doubt he is. But he's a Canadian, so he was so nice. He was super nice, don't you know? And, so he was. I was like, hey, I need a job. So on paper, I could tell my dad I work somewhere, so he doesn't have to worry about what I'm doing for money. And so he gave me a job. I worked at Kaufman's, Domino's from 4 to 8 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday. And that was
my
it.
gosh.
And then you were just playing poker.
Then playing poker. Yep, just playing poker.
Wow.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, if we had time, I would tell you guys about the time that they sent me an eviction notice to Wright State to come to the Wright State saying, hey, you haven't paid. I wasn't going to school, but I was still living on campus. It's like, you owe us $1,500 and you need to pay that. Otherwise, we're going to evict you in 2 days. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll get you that money. But did you send this anywhere else? And this is the next time I had to drive all the way home.
Are you serious?
Intercept the letter.
Dude, this is
Intercept the letter. And then I went on a run that week. I was like, give me a week. I'll get you the money. I took $600, made it $3,200, paid her the $1,500. And
Oh, you must be a good poker player.
You were not invited to our poker.
I realize now I'm probably too lucky during that week. That was a crazy ride. I really needed it. I felt like I was Mike D in the movie The Grounders. I was like
my
Mike
gosh.
McD. I was like, I played for like probably 12, 13 hours a day.
Holy mackerel, dude.
Wow.
But yeah, that was a different time. You know,
Yeah,
different time.
yeah. No, I'm not judging.
How did we even get onto that?
Oh,
Dayton.
we're how I never left Dayton.
Yeah,
And I was becoming who I wanted to be.
So you
which was
you
a
kind of
poker
found your
grinder.
independence.
Yeah.
One-Eyed Jacks.
Yes.
That's
One-Eyed
where we
Jacks.
were.
Yes.
You're gonna have to curtail me a couple
No,
times.
dude.
I'm just
So
trying to
good.
remember. No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
No.
We like free-flowing conversation. So you start to get up the confidence. You say you want to go to an open mic.
I go to open
Yeah.
mic because I used to watch the Browns game at this. This is the only place that I could find the Browns game on when I used to be a Browns fan.
Yeah.
I had to give that up after they got Deshaun.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you.
He's still
'cause
there.
I went back to respecting women after I gave up too
Oh,
short. So
Yeah.
man.
I had to lead the Browns, and I ended up picking another team with no Super Bowl, the Minnesota Vikings. So they're another mistake by the lake. But I look good in purple, so
That's
There
good.
you go.
roll with it.
See?
But I go to One Eye Jacks. I see they one night they have a band come in there. I was like, I'm waiting for the game to come on, and they get a band to come in there. I was like, wait a second, people just play music places. I like it. Again, it's one of those things that never like. I was like, if you're not a star on TV, then who would come see you play music?
Sure.
And then also, you're playing it at the place I get 50 cent wings and watch the Browns game. How good could this be? And they were phenomenal. They were
Really?
phenomenal. It was a band called Federal and Company. They no longer exist. But one of the guys, he's in the band Frequency now.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with them.
I don't know them.
But their Frequency is, they played at the 11 and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm like, wait, people just play music here? Then I found out they had an open mic on Tuesdays or something like that. So I go to this open mic, and my career almost got ended because Paige Beller is running the open mic.
Yeah.
She's not the normal open mic host. She's like a bartender there, but she's also, that night, the guy who normally does it, Draven, he's not available, so she has to run it. She gets up there with a guitar twice the size of her body, and she starts opening up the show because like normally the host plays a couple songs to like warm things up. And she gets up there and she plays 3 of the most sad, beautiful songs I've ever heard. And I was like, I can never come to this place again. Who's going to want to listen to this crap that I'm doing when this lady is up here doing this stuff? Then I realized she only did that because there was nobody signed up. So I was like, okay, about midway through the next week, or about, I want to say Saturday, it dawned on me, if I get there and sign up so there's somebody there, then I'll just do it. And then they won't go, oh, he sucks in comparison to her. It'll just be, a fall off, but it won't be a complete fall off, or it'll be an uptrend. It'll be an uptrend for her going after me. And I go and I play and I do my songs and I'm like, hey, my name's Tino. I'm be doing open mic tonight. Sorry, I'm whispering a little bit, but I was real timid.
Yeah.
And I get up there to do my songs, and my friend says, hey, he's the guy who later on records me. He's like, hey man, we don't like that smooth jazz Tino that you be doing. Back in the day, it was like a smooth. It's like, you're here with the quiet storm. But I get up there and do my thing, and Paige she comes up to me and she goes at the end, she's like, hey, I don't quite know what you were saying, but I think I like what you were doing. Please come back again. I was, the lady who came up there and blew my mind says, come back.
Yeah.
I come back. So for a year, I'm just coming back.
Wow.
And I'm gaining confidence and I'm getting better at this. And then one day she's like, hey, I got a show on a Wednesday and I need somebody to do 45 minutes to open for me. Would you want to open? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, I got 22 minutes of material. I don't know where I'm going to find.
Double it up.
I don't know where I'm going to find the other 23, but I'll figure it out by about a week from now. And that's the first show I ever got. Paige gave it to me. And I played 45 minutes.
Wow.
And maybe 13 of it was all freestyle. Who knows? Who knows?
Was that at One Eye Jacks too?
Is that One Eye Jacks?
Wow.
And I did a lot. Man, One Eye Jacks has a special place in my heart because it was like it was like a hub for a lot of people that I know today. I first met Nick from Night Beast at One Eye Jacks. I met a lot of guys like.
Meet Me in the City, sponsored by Twisted River Coffee Roaster. Twisted River offers an unpretentious approach to specialty coffee. Visit twistedrivercoffee.com and use promo code INTHECITY at checkout to receive a one-time discount of 10% off your entire order.
I battled Dave Chappelle down at One Eye Jacks in a rap battle.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You just throw that out
I mean,
there
that whole
casually.
universe is already on the list of questions I have because of something else I watched. You battled Dave Chappelle.
Correct. In a rap battle because it was my homies Scratchmatic, DJ Fatty Lumpkin, who's his his DJ.
Yes.
For
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Firehouse and stuff like that.
He's come up on the podcast before.
He had a crew called Scratchmatic. It was 4 DJs and they would run a Tuesday night thing there. Actually, now I'm thinking about Wednesday night was it was Thursday night was the open mic, and Tuesday used to be Hip Hop Tuesdays, and Hip Hop Tuesdays became a thing. It was really weird because they had to move. They used to be at Elbows, and then they used to be at the Night Owl, and they got kicked out. They didn't want hip hop downtown, so they got moved all the way down to One Eye Jacks, and it kind of like the crowd that they were getting. People didn't really want to come out from Dayton to drive down the Faribault and drink, and then drive back to Dayton.
Sure.
So, but they started cultivating the thing, and I just happened to be around when that thing started to come up. And I was like the one kid who was like, hey, is it okay if I get on this mic and do something? And Illness, my guy Illness, who was like the unofficial enforcer of the group, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this mic. but if you're terrible, I'm turning it off. Like, and he gave me the mic, and he was like, "Yo, that wasn't bad. You could do that on occasion up here." So like, then he let me come up, and I would come up and I would do freestyle, and it's like people start hearing that there was freestyling going on Tuesday nights, and they were like building this thing, and it's like people start coming out, and people started wanting to battle, and then people started wanting to freestyle. Then there would be a couple of guys who would come out and they wanted to battle. Okay. And then people would be like,
"What year is this? Probably."
This would be during the time I was working on all that open mic stuff. So like it would have been like 2011, 2010, 2011.
Okay.
So because my first gig was December 7th, 2011.
Wow.
Okay.
So there, one night Chappelle comes up. He comes out. He's hanging out. He's just chilling.
You know
like,
who
this
he
is
is.
cool. He's like, this
is
is cool.
that during the time when he's like,
he's
nobody knows where he is?
Like nobody knows where he's at.
Yeah, he's down.
He comes out. He comes back and he's buff. This is when he's like buff Chappelle. You got the buff
Still
Chappelle
smoking
here.
though, like
And he hangs out. He likes the music. They're playing the hip hop that he likes.
Yeah.
And then he comes back another time and he brings his homies with him and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. No phones, no video, nothing like that." He's like, "I just want to see who the best is around here, and I want to battle him right now." And they're like, Tino. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, y'all gonna put me on the spot to try and battle a professional comedian and a hip hop battle, and like they like get on the stage, and so I get on the stage and I have to battle Dave Chappelle.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes sideways for Dave real quick. Real quick.
I love this.
Because he comes up with a Tino, no flow, gotta go. And I was like, whoa, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then I
backed yourself in a corner there.
It's like that's not too good. And I was like, I just start going to work. I start mentioning stuff about him getting crushed by Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor.
Oh my God.
His iPhone 4. At the time his iPhone 6 was out. I was like, I guess the money ain't flowing in. Like it's just all kind of different stuff that I can come up with in the moment. And man, he was like, I can't believe this happened to me. And he gets his friend Dion. He's like, Dion, take this guy on. And I guess Dion might have had some music industry chops because Dion gets up there and he's like going. And I was like, oh no, it's not. I was like, his name may be Dion, but he ain't prime time when it comes to these rhymes. And I'm just like, I was in a flow state at that point.
Right.
And it was a beautiful night, and it was like one of those things. Somebody snuck and took a picture, but there's like no. I think there's like a little video because my ex at the time she didn't listen, and that's probably why she's my ex also. but she took her phone out and she got a little snippet of him like freestyling against me. The part where he's rapping, but there's no like video of it, and that's what's really cool about it. It's like one photo with me, my hands in the air, and I think Fatty Lumpkin's on the decks, and it's really cool.
Man,
Wow, that's a heck of a story.
That's an amazing story.
I've been living off of it for
man.
15 years.
15 years.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
So take us a little down the road. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself if you sat Dave Chappelle down. What happens after that? I mean, it's got to be confidence builder. You're in front of people. They're calling you. I mean, where do you go from there?
It kind of goes on it's weird because a lot of artists, when they start off, there's like this huge momentum that you get because it's like this, like people are excited to see you, and like you're like, oh man, this will never stop. Like this will, I'll always be on top, man. This is like, but then you realize everybody gets older. Some people graduate school, they move away, and the crowds aren't as big as they once were, But the funny thing was, like, I kind of found a way, like, I've turned the fan base over probably about, I call it turning the fan base over, but it's what you had to do about 4 or 5 times since I started. And it's just due to the fact that, like, people like Juliet will reach out and be like, hey, would you come up to the radio? And so now you get introduced to a whole new venue of people. People started hearing about what I was doing at One Eye Jacks, and it was like Brandon Hawk started reaching out from Blind Bob's. And he's like, hey, I got a cancellation. Can you come fill in here? I was like, I'm supposed to play in Yellow Springs tonight too, but I'll come do this, and then I'll drive all the way out to Yellow Springs and do that. Right. And like you just hit the ground and you just try and keep it. And so people started seeing, I started becoming like a staple of the scene. Like you start off as an opener, and then you move your way up to a middle guy, and then you move your way up to a headliner, and you're the guy going, your person going last. And that was like a transition that I made over a span of probably like 3 years, I want to say, from like just being a guy who played One Eye Jacks exclusively, almost exclusively. I go down to I can't think of the name of the bar. It's across from Tully's. It used to be across from Tully's. It was sometimes they would have jam bands down there too. I can't think of the name. I'm sorry, I just did a tapping thing too.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, so I go down there, I play there, and then sometimes people from out of town. One of the bigger things that happened to me, Blueprint, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's from Columbus, Ohio, and he came down here in 2012. And my guy, Philly Phil, who books a lot of the hip-hop, who was booking a lot of the hip-hop at One Eye Jacks at the time, was like, hey, man, I want you to be an opener. But Philly Phil was kind of notorious for booking like 8 openers. And so there was like a ton of guys who were going on. And it gets to about, Blueprint doesn't really like to go on after midnight. And he's like, hey, I want to take the stage. And he's like, well, there's one guy here who is supposed to be, he's like, a lot of the people are here to see him as well. He's like, I promise you, if you let him get his 20 minutes, he'll open it up properly. Because the guys who were playing before were kind of like trap rap, and it just, that was also what was upsetting him, because it's like, this is not my genre of music. He's more of a boom bap, like lyricist type guy.
Yeah.
And this stuff was not the same ilk. So I got up there and I see Blueprint over on the side, and he's got his hands crossed, and he's like, yeah, I don't know who this kid is, but whatever. Let him do a song. I start doing get halfway into my song back in '86, and he's like nodding his head.
Yeah.
And then I'm like 3 songs in, his arms is uncrossed. And then I get off, and then I finish the stage. He's like, hey man, I want to thank you for what you did. He's like, that was an incredible set. He's like, I appreciate it. And he got on stage, and I was like, that really means a lot to me, because this is a guy who's toured with Atmosphere and Slug, and he's been all over the world doing music. And then from then on, whenever he came to Dayton, he would ask that I was one of the openers for his set. And then we became friends. He'd take me out. I did a little Ohio tour with him. We played Cincinnati, Columbus, here. And we played the Levitt Pavilion together and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So
That's amazing, man.
So I'm curious. We've, on the podcast, we have spent the entirety of our time essentially covering like alternative, underground, indie stuff in Dayton. Tell us about the hip hop scene. I mean, you got this little bubbling thing going on at One Eye Jacks, but describe good, bad, and different, whatever you might think. I mean, what's the hip hop scene since you have come around been like in Dayton?
There was kind of like 2 camps of hip hop when I first started off. There was like the college party, frat rap kind of scene that was really going down at that other spot more so than it was at One Eye Jacks. One Eye Jacks was like One Eye Jacks was thought of more of as a hippie bar. And like there was like there would be some jam bands that would come through there. Yeah. There would be bands like Orange Willard. There was like it was a different spot. One Eye Jacks was. And there was guys like Village Fam that were playing at the same time as me, which was like Issa Ali, and there was like I think I was coming up to when there was like a transition, because Scratchmatic was doing a lot of stuff down at the Night Owl, and there was a bigger scene at that point, but that kind of had died off. And then the guys who were like PDMC and Mini Styles, they had kind of stopped doing it, but they did started to have like a resurgence. But then there was like there's weird, because it was groups like 8 Yard that was playing at the time. 8 Yard was a group. It was like a motorcycle gang kind of thing from Xenia, and they were also like it was like a hardcore. It was like a gangster rap
Really?
sound. Okay. Yeah, and so there was a lot of different pockets of music going on at that time, but it was never. There was a little crossover, but there was like groups that stuck to themselves. There's like the Stay Gold group, which was like the video, and he used to go by Easy Loco, but he's now ECIE Morales, and there was like these factions of groups. But everybody had like their own lane, and they were doing their own thing. And sometimes there would be some cross-pollination, but not as much. I think today, the current hip-hop scene is a lot more communal. We got the Boom Bap in Belmont, which is put on by Mike Cooley and Don Johnson, where you get guys like Ilwin who is out there freestyling, Blanche Robinson. You got PDMC. You've got some of the older guys out there, Evolve. You got I say older, but like just they're OGs as far as
been around for a minute.
Yeah, they've been around.
Yeah.
And you got tons of guys that come out to support that particular thing. And you get free, like they're actually producers that come out, bring out their own beats. And then you got MCs who are freestyle over those producers' beats. And then you got Rap Camp, which is also a thing that Don Johnson and Mike Cooley put together, which had like the first album, I want to say, had 20, maybe 18 or 19 rappers. And then the next one had almost close to 30 rappers on it.
Are these all from, like, all people from, like, Dayton or all over?
They're from the first one, it was all from, mostly from Dayton. Wow. I think everybody was from Dayton. So you had T Hunt, you had tons of people. I'm trying to think about everybody that was on there. But then the next one had guys from Columbus that could come up and were a part of the event, because it started to spread. What they were doing, because Don Johnson is a producer, and also so is Mike Cooley. So they were like, we're going to put together a Dropbox folder with a bunch of beats, and then you guys come over. This is the first time you're going to hear these beats. You guys come over, you write the verses today, you hop in the booth, we'll record it. It's like a recording marathon session. Wow. They get food and everything. There's a grill going, and you just creating songs. Everybody's just creating songs and adding it, and it ended up coming out very cohesive. Like some guy would come up with a hook or maybe a verse, and then somebody would be like, oh, I got an idea for a hook after they heard it, something that
so everybody's there together creating in real time.
In real time.
And
there's a whole documentary. There was a Rap Cap documentary that got shown at the Neon. They also had a showing at the Dublin pub. I don't know if it's available for streaming yet, but I think they're working on trying to get it. Yeah, it's called Rap Camp with 2 P's. You'll have to put 2 P's on it. If you ask PDMC, the extra P is for PDMC.
So you guys, did you get the beats ahead of time?
No, you just show up and you
start listening.
You go to work.
Man,
and it's a lot easier when you have you don't have to make the whole song. So I was on 2 of the records, but then there's guys who are like Chetty and T Hunt who are on like maybe 70% of the songs, because these guys are incredible. Like, I never seen Chetty write anything down, and he'll listen to the beat and he'll mumble to himself for a second, and then he'll go get in the booth and he'll one take it. And I'm like, how are you doing this?
It's like Jay-Z stuff, right?
Like Jay-Z level stuff, but like I'm seeing a man do it in real life. And I'm so I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me, because I'm sitting here and I got my pen and I'm writing this stuff down, and I go in the booth and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it again. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Okay, keep that last line. We're gonna try the next one again. And I'm like, it's a whole different. I was like, that's one of the things that I was like, normally my recording process a very personal thing. I don't normally open it up to like just everybody to see it. Yeah. And so like to be recording in a place with like 20 other people, because just like I don't want people to see me stumble or mess up. Like I got dyslexia, so like I wrote it, but like it's not what anything that I write is just a guideline for what I might be saying.
Are you a lefty too?
Yes.
Man, we're in there. We're in there. Dyslexic and lefty.
That's most likely the problem. Anytime and those Catholic. Now this is funny. I did have like my mother will dispute it, but I will say I had a voucher for going because I had dyslexia. I was able to go to a Catholic school. But eventually, Cleveland City Schools, and I've looked it up online, they revoked those vouchers. So then I had to start going to public school. So from kindergarten to first grade, I was able to go to a Catholic school. And they did not like the left-handedness. And I used to have to go, this is crazy, I used to have to go to a bus. It wasn't a bus. It was like an Airstream where they were like trying to help me not see everything in mirror image. Because like I wrote in mirror image, and I didn't realize it. Man. You see and I wrote from right to left as well. So it's crazy. Yeah. But anything I write is like, that's just like what I would like to say. Yeah. And then what we're doing here is going to be all really me just doing it as I feel.
And it makes sense then if you don't want everybody watching you go through it all.
Yeah, because especially if I just wrote it that day, because like it's not, normally I'll write a verse and I'll live with it for a while before I decide, okay, now I need to record this or now I'm going to perform this.
Yeah.
So going way back, when your sister says to you, "I don't like the way you're talking to us," did that really inform how you write and how you come up with lyrics?
What informed that was just my upbringing. I wanted to make music. I used to ride around with my uncle, and he was heavy into Run DMC. And I remember, and LL Cool J, and I remember getting to ride around with him, and he didn't have to worry about changing the music because I was in the car or anything like that. And I was like, it'd be nice to make stuff that people can enjoy with everybody.
Right.
And the hardest part of that for me is trying to make it so that it's not corny. Like, because a lot of times you can make something that is universally listenable, but also not acceptable for older people. You know?
Right. Let's talk about records. Your records, right? Yeah. You recorded a couple records with DJ Martin, right? One was the first. Well, you have a lot of EPs too. You know, when I was researching, but that's a cool relationship, I think, because of who he is and just the music, right? So how did that happen? How did that happen?
He is one of those things where it's more trusting in human beings than I think the world really wants you to, because you get spam emails all the time.
Oh, sure.
And I got an email and the English was broken and there might have been one too many letters for a certain word. And I was like, this really seems like a scam. But it was a guy saying, hey, I'm a producer in France and I have a little record label and I would like to send you some instrumentals and maybe we can make a song together. Yeah. And I was like, I'll take a chance on this guy. I'll write him back and be like, hey, yeah, cool. Send me, like, because a lot of times you say, hey, yeah, cool, send it, and nothing materializes. Yeah. So I said, hey, yeah, send it. And he sent some beats, and I was like, oh, these are cool. These are actually, but they were like, at that time, I was more of my sound was modern, and Martin has like a more old school boom bap, dirty drums, Wu-Tang style, sampling, like, style to him. And I was like, oh, this is the stuff that I fell in love with when I started falling in love with hip hop. I was like, this will be cool to make a departure from like my more modern sound, because I just put out an album called Never Worried About Tomorrow. And I was worried about trying to follow that up, because I was like, I felt like that was the album I'd been trying to make my whole life. And I was like, oh, this will be completely different. Because I was like, well, first of all, it was just supposed to be one song. Then I sent him the one song back and he was like, hey, I like this. How about we do another or two? And I sent him those ones. He's like, oh, these are crazy. And then he sent me the beat. He sent me another beat. And then I work on those. And we got to do a whole EP. We got to do a whole EP. And he's like, and I'll put it on vinyl. I was like, wait a second. He's like, I'll put it on vinyl. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, maybe we do 100 vinyl. I could probably move 40 or so over here. And he was like, no, bro. He's like, I'm gonna do 300. I was like, whoa, 300. Oh man, 300, man. It's like, I know you think I'm some kind of big deal or something. Like, he's like, oh, no. He's like, wait, I don't think you're a big deal.
Let's just get this straight.
He later told me, he's like, I didn't think you were a big deal. He's like, I was like, hey, he's like, for me, it was more about the passion and making some art that I really loved, and that's what we did here. And he's like, you never discussed money. You never tried to charge me for any of the verses or nothing like that. He's like,
he didn't have an offshore bank account in like the Netherlands or something you need to send money to for these beats.
Because he's like American artists, sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll do the song, send me $200 or whatever. And he's like, if depending on the guy, I might do it or whatever. But he's like, you never said I try to give you money for the recording, to do it in the studios. I was just tacking it on at the end of recording, Never Worried About Tomorrow. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add this on here. And he was like, I think I was Midwest Sorrow. I was adding it in the Midwest Sorrow sessions, and he's like, you never asked me about money. He's like, I just want to do this, and it was like, okay, but man, we're gonna be sitting on those records for a long time. Turned out, we actually, when I went over to France, we sold the last copies of that album when I was over there.
Wow.
I was like 300 going. That's impressive. Like
that's
a testament to everybody who have supported me over the years. Some people were buying every one of the color schemes just so they could have as a collection. I was like, that's insane to me. Yeah, because I don't even like me that much. that's like €30 a piece. That's like American dollars. That's
more than 30.
How did he find you?
He on Bandcamp.
Really?
Bandcamp is one of the better tools out there for artists. And he found me on Bandcamp, an interviewer who has done stuff for was it Rolling Stones and stuff like that. He found me. He found when I put out People Too, and it's just like one of those tools, like where sometimes the algorithm Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
And so he found it, and he liked what he heard, and he was like, we made an album together that really changed my life, because it was like, I never thought I was going to be in a position to have vinyl records.
Yeah.
But then once I did it once, I was like, I can literally do this, and I can see myself paying. And I did. I bought my own. Safe Money put out a vinyl, and then I put out my own Midwest Sorrow vinyl. And it's like, it's not a thing that I'm like afraid to do, because I realized the support that I have behind me.
Yeah.
And then because of what we did, I was able to put that grant in for Culture Works, and that allowed me to get over to see France with my own eyes, see Paris with my own eyes.
That's amazing.
Tell us
man.
about
Well,
that experience.
I'm gonna tell you about it. But if you don't know anything about John Wick, this is gonna be
I love John Wick.
it's gonna be a rough story for you. So we get over there.
I've not watched any of the John Wick movies,
Oh my
boy.
gosh.
Oh.
Well, at
but I
least,
am going to France this summer.
at least before you go, at least watch John Wick 4, because the only way that I was able to relate most things that were in Paris was because of John Wick 4.
Okay.
It's heavily featured in France.
Tino says, watch John Wick 4. Okay.
So I get over to, we'd been up for 33 hours, I want to say. When I get there, we meet Martin.
Yeah.
We meet Martin. That day, we had got delayed. Our flight got delayed. We missed our connecting flight to go to Paris the day before. So we had to stay in Chicago at night, get up the next morning, fly out. And I say get up the next morning, but we like barely slept. But the airport we were next to, the hotel we were in was next to the airport, and I might have got 15 minutes of sleep. We get over there. We meet Martin for the first time, and meeting him for the first time, it was like we had been friends for 10 years, at least. And he's just like the most ADHD riddled, lovely man that you've ever met. And that's why we work, because my ADHD, she's like, you just met your French counterpart. It's my significant other, Rosie. She came with me, because I couldn't go overseas without Rosie. She's like my blanket. I'm Linus, and she's like my blanket, except she's not stinky. She's like, so, you're not stinky, babe. You're a lovely fragrance. So we get over there. The first day we get there, we have a show at a shop in Paris that we're supposed to play 4 hours from when we get there. So we get there, we go to his significant other's, Valerie's apartment. She has a place that overlooks the Eiffel Tower. We get some food in us, and he's like, hey, we're going to walk you over to this, or we're going to catch the subway, we'll walk to this place. And we get to the place about an hour before we're supposed to go on, and he's like, hey, I want to take you somewhere. It's right around the corner. You want to come? I was like, man, I've been awake for 33 hours. I'm supposed to do a show with you, and we've never played a show together before.
Wow.
And you want to go walking somewhere around the corner? I was like, okay. What? I kind of a little.
Let's go, Martin.
Rosie knows I get a little, when I was like, all right, Martin, let's go. Let's do it. And we go, and we walk in, and we turn the corner, and it's like maybe a block and a half, too. And we turn the corner, and I see the Sacred Heart Cathedral, which is like the feature scene where John Wick has his last battle. And I was like, that's the cathedral from John Wick. And I'm like, are those the like they were talking about? He's like, let's go see the top. And I'm like, but actually I didn't recognize it off at the beginning.
Yeah,
because he's like, let's go see the top. I'm like, that's like 12 flights of stairs if we walk up the stairs. And he's they got a little conveyor belt, or what, I don't know what the technical, it's like an elevator that don't ride you up. And I was like, all right, let's go around the corner, see this, how long the line is to get this thing. And I go around the corner, I was like, wait a second, I know these stairs. And I'm like, these are the stairs that John Wick battled like 50 men to climb. I'm like, I'm walking these John Wick stairs. I go from like not wanting to go anywhere. Go anywhere to walking 10 flights of stairs, the same 10 flight that Keanu walked. And I was like, man, this is like what a pilgrimage is like. That's supposed to be for people. Because it's like, this is John Wick walked these stairs. So I get to the top, and we're at the top of the thing, and they are like, he really pretty much ran up these stairs. He didn't want to walk over here. Rosie and Martin are talking. It's like, we're just going to tell him John Wick did everything that we want to do.
Oh, my God.
Anything we want to do, we're going to tell him John Wick did it. But Martin knew nothing about the movie John Wick.
I haven't seen 4, so I need to watch 4.
He goes home and he researches every site that John Wick was shot in Paris.
Oh,
and then
man.
the next day, he takes us on a guided
Awesome.
tour guided thing to every spot that he went to because he saw the enthusiasm I had
That's
about
awesome.
this movie.
That's
So,
a good friend.
Yeah.
So,
How'd the show go?
the show went it was like we'd been playing again, like we had been playing for 10 years. It didn't make any sense. I was like, Rose's like, y'all really killed that, and you didn't know. I was like, I didn't know what he was going to do on the decks or
Wow.
nothing like that. There was no routine plan, but like we were just like, it was seamless. Every time that I played with him, it's been like that. He's like a super professional though, because he's been playing like Red Bull breakdance events, and like Ren is the stadium football team the soccer team. Forgive me, Martin, for saying soccer. the football club that he DJs the stadium for.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah. So PSG, Mbappe has heard a Tino song
Oh, my
before
gosh.
because
That's
he
awesome.
plays it during like warm ups and stuff like that. He can't. They were supposed to only play top 40 stuff during the stadiums, but he's played it like at the
What's your
end and
guy?
stuff like that. I was like, hey, I don't. By the transitive properties, Mbappe is a Tino fan.
Oh,
Just
my
like-
God.
That's
love it.
cool.
he didn't say turn this off from the sale. He didn't go look up and go
Yeah.
thumbs down to me.
Turn it up.
So yeah, Martin's that guy, and he's like he came over here, and every time we get together, it's just like we never met, we never left. I'm sorry,
No.
No, I just got a thing on here that I was getting rid of. You're good.
I have no idea what. Oh yeah, we're an hour and 15 in.
We're
It
in, brother.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens
We're
very
in
fast.
Yeah.
It happens very fast. I saw so that record, the one you got through Cultureworks, that came out 2-3 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, it would have been 2014 or 2024. Sorry,
24. Okay, I saw this thing you did with the Dayton Library with Fatty Lumpkin. Yeah, which hopefully we'll put a link up to the Sprinkle. You found it already. We'll put a link up to it because I thought it was really entertaining. How did that come about?
They were tiny desks, or they were trying to do like a little tiny desk thing.
Tiny
it's called
stacks.
Tiny Stacks.
Yeah.
And so you had to apply, you submit, and they decide if they want to choose you or not. And I think actually I may have had an inside man who was like, hey, I think if you submit it for the hip hop one, the anniversary, you may get it. You may get in.
Yeah.
So I submitted, and they did accept me and Fatty Lumpkin because it was like it's 50 years of hip hop.
Sure.
And who better? I mean, there's plenty better, but who? They was like who? According to most people, don't know a lot about the hip hop scene in Dayton. So a lot of times when any musicians that are like just regular musicians, like I would say regular musicians, people who play instruments, like Heather Redman or David Payne or something. If anybody brings up hip hop, like, oh, we need hip hop, they'll go, hey, Tino, get Tino. They know Tino, get Tino.
Yeah.
You know that'll be satisfactory.
How did you get Fatty in there then?
Fatty? Me and Fatty have been guys.
Oh, okay.
He's been my guy for
So is
that rap battle?
Since that, well, before it is.
Okay.
But he's been my dude, and anytime I can get him, I can't afford to pay him what Chappelle's paying him. Not at all. But anytime that he's available, so like 6 to 7 on a Thursday, you can get him away from the firehouse. So
man.
he was able to come out and do that, and he was like, okay, I went over to his house to like come up with a little bit of a thing that we're going to do because we wanted to talk about the history of hip hop and pay homage to the pioneers and how the genre came about.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really
That is
cool.
really cool.
Very, very entertaining. Lots
Yeah,
of
there
fun.
was a little kid in there heckling me the whole
Yeah,
time.
Are you
you
serious?
could hear
Oh
sort
my
of,
gosh.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
What was he saying?
He said something about Mario. Was it the same kid that said something about Mario Brothers at one point?
Probably. He was also like, he's like, let's talking more rapping.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, shout out to River. Yeah.
River.
Amazing. That's amazing. I do want to, I mean, we are getting towards the end, and I have some questions I want to ask, but I wonder obviously the relationship with Martin, he's coming up with the beats for you. Everything else, how does your process work? Are you the one creating beats?
Oh no.
Okay,
There was a time where I
with.
told myself I was going to do that, but then my ADHD said we were playing fantasy football and we're also doing other stuff. We don't have time to make beats. But no, I get. I'm fortunate enough to have been doing this long enough to meet people like Don Johnson. Have met people like Blueprint. Blueprint has done some of the instrumentals for me.
Oh, amazing!
And I've been able to get production from a plethora of very talented producers over the years. My guy Nick Robeson did a lot of stuff for me. Okay. It's really weird because it's like sometimes I'm like, I get very fortunate. Like, and maybe some people say you have to work hard enough to get fortunate.
Right.
But I feel like I've been fortunate enough to like be in the good graces of a lot of talented people.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people don't even get what they're worth as far as that goes on the production side, and I appreciate them immensely for not taking me up top because my mom already does that with those Aruba trips. So. I don't want y'all to think I got money because I went to Aruba.
No, it's fine.
I'm talking to my producer friends who might listen to this. I'm financially ruined. I'll never recover.
I mean, I don't know how you couldn't have a bunch of guys wanting to do beats for you. I mean, you're like such a good, kind person. I mean, you are. We've met one briefly other time, but it's like you're such a great guy that I would think they'd be falling all over each other to create stuff for you. I mean, it's just you have such a great personality.
They're much better people than I am a lot of the time.
I doubt that.
So it's a mutual respect for each other, and they know if I'm making money, they're making money. Like Fatty Don Johnson, he DJs for me often when I have gigs and stuff like that. So like if I'm playing, I played Earlham College, and we went out there to play Earlham College, and I make sure that he got taken care of when they do stuff like that. When we played 11, if somebody's playing with me, I make sure that anytime I'm getting a check, somebody else is getting a check that is involved. So
what I have to say, I know Will probably have some rapid fire. Dude, it's just sitting here talking to you is like talking to an old friend. And I told you on the way in here, I told somebody that you were coming on, and he was like, man, he is the greatest guy. So just know that, I mean, don't
short sell.
I mean, you're a great guy, and I hope we have more chances to talk with you. So.
Well, I appreciate that immensely, Dan.
Yeah.
What do you have? Like, what's coming up next? I do have some rapid fire stuff. I'm just curious because we don't get to talk hip hop very often. And Sprinkle might even have a few that he wants to fill.
And I feel like I didn't do hip hop justice a lot. There's like so many dope artists out here. Jeremy Street, that was another guy who was on the album. There's just tons of guys that are doing all kind of incredible things around the city. Ilwin's always doing something. Blanche is always doing something. Like I get a lot of inspiration from guys. Ken Poo, she's doing stuff now, and it's just like it's fun to look out and see. Like a lot of times I hate it because people are like, oh, who's the best? Like people who are uninformed go, who's the best hip hop artist in the city? And they might mention my name, and I go, I don't know if you can mention somebody's name if you're not you don't are unaware of everything else that's going on. Right. They'd be like, who's the best band in the city? And it's like, well, what genre are we talking about? Right. And there's a ton of guys or a ton of groups that belong in that conversation. And I just want to see hip hop. And it's starting to, I feel like it's getting to that particular level. You got Kevin K. Carter, my guy, who's also a part of Safe Money, and he's doing the for Dayton by Dayton, and he's putting light on that. And he's got Jay Tobe, who's also an incredible hip hop artist, young guy, 22 years old. And I see young guys who are 22 years old and they have this level of skill, and I'm like, I miss being young enough to be like, oh man, I want to compete with this guy. Like, but now I feel like I'm in the unk arc of my life where I'm just like, I just want to promote and help everybody else take it further than I ever thought possible. Yeah. And so I kind of got on a tangent there because of just wanting to make sure that hip hop gets the kind of light that it deserves. And the city is doing amazing things. Like Tiny Stacks is coming back this year, and I'll be a part of that as well. They're doing like a festival style thing, and they're they're supposed to be bringing it back because Tanila, who runs that particular event, was unsure if Tiny Stacks would continue, and I'm glad that it will be back. Stuff like Dayton Porch Fest. Dayton Porch Fest does a good job of trying to have representation of stuff. Which, speaking of which, that's something I got coming up. I'm going to be in Dayton Porch Fest this year.
Oh, awesome.
I normally take the year off. I don't because there's so many people that try to play Porch Fest. Yeah. Normally you can do 2 years in a row, and then they'll make you take a cool off year. Yeah. I always do it every other year because I'm like, I just want to make sure that there's spot. I've had plenty of spotlight. Like, I do it every other year because it's one of the few opportunities I have to play outdoors and for everybody. Because you don't get a lot of opportunities. I play a lot of bar settings and stuff like that, and late night, and people have kids now. A lot of my fans, they got whole children. Oh, whole children in the 6th grade and stuff like that. I'm like, no, your kid is not in the 6th grade yet. It's in the 6th grade. So I cherish the opportunity to play during the day like I do in Porch Fest. And that's actually... I'm starting a new project called Creatures and Clouds, and that's going to be with Poppy, who played drums with me, and David from Abertooth. And maybe possibly we might add a 4th, but we may not, and we may see how it goes with just the 3 of us. But it's not. I did the band thing before with Paige and Chris Barnett, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. But we were doing Tino songs that were transformed into songs. This time we're doing original music that is not specific to me. So it's hopefully going to have a different feel to it than my traditional stuff. We'll be playing Juneteenth also at Yellow Cab Tavern, and then I'll be playing solo May 15th. I don't know when this is coming out.
It's going to come out after.
That's all good. That's all good. But I'll probably be putting out, by the time this comes out, I'll have a new song out. Thinking about calling it No Island, but it's going to be a song that features Jay Baldwin on a production. It's or John Brown. He goes by John Brown as the production name, but he is a member of the Bruins. He plays sax.
Your song, you just put out a song with the Bruins that is awesome.
It is
awesome.
Those guys are too smooth and they're so good.
It's so good, that song.
They're so good. And I'm like, it makes me, I think about it all the time. I'm like, if you just put 2 years, you might be decent enough to play a musical instrument. But I listen to those guys, I'm like, that's something that you just either got or you don't got. And guys, people hate when I say that because David from Abertooth is like that. I'm like, you either got this. He's like, no. He's like, I practice 1 hour a day. And I was like, I get that you practice 1 hour a day, but there's still a level of you that something about you makes you be able to practice that 1 hour a day in the first place. And then you have such a talent on top of that. I just won't. That's why I don't ever get into production. I'm like, I know what would sound good, but I don't know how to get to the point where
it's work. It's a lot of work to get to that point.
Yeah. And rapping, unfortunately, rapping came very easily for me, and I don't want to try harder and mess up a good thing.
There you go.
You're probably selling yourself short a little bit there. I'm just curious because as I was listening to your music, I'm like, oh, there's a reference. There's a reference. There's a reference. What did I put in my short list here? I think this was mainly just the set from Tiny Stacks, ODB, Queen Latifah, Tribe, Rakim.
Yeah.
Your rediscovery of hip hop or your falling back in love, however you want to call it, I know you said you rode around with your uncle listening to Run DMC and LL Cool J. So you got like Golden Era is that's my sweet spot because that's what I grew up with. I'm trying to see how do I formulate this. I don't even want to ask your favorite 5 or top 5. Like, give me some MCs that you have been inspired by.
MCs I've been inspired by,
and across time.
We will definitely go LL. LL's always been one of my favorite MCs. I grew up, the first rap lyrics I ever memorized them incorrectly because they were forget Oreos, eat Cool J cookies. I'm bad, but I used to say my Oreos eat cookies too. I'm bad. Which, I mean, it's also
cool.
pretty tough.
That's cool.
It's pretty tough.
You should work that in.
Pretty tough.
A little homage.
And I'll always be a big fan of Nas, even if his
Yeah.
beat selection sometimes is pretty garbage.
Garbage.
And I'll always, I mean, I'll always love. It's hard to separate the human being.
Yeah.
But Mr. West helped me realize that you didn't need to be a gangster rapper to actually make great music in the hip hop genre. Because up until then, like everything I heard mainstream, because I didn't grow up in the era where Tribe was being played regularly and stuff like that. And even if I was in my dad's house, so you weren't going to hear a lot of that. But as
You weren't hearing Benita Applebum.
you weren't hearing that, you weren't hearing Low End Theory and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for him to be rapping different subject matters,
Sure.
and also rapping about losing his grandmother and stuff like that, it was like these are things that you can make into art that normally doesn't find a home in this genre, but it belongs in this genre. And so to hear that and stuff like I'll always be a big fan of, like, even coming up when I was starting, Wale was starting, Drake was starting, Big Crit was starting, and J. Cole was starting. And those guys were the guys that I was like, these guys are rapping better than I am rapping, and I'm of the same age as them, and I need to figure out a way to keep up or get caught up to what they're doing. And so those guys are always have a special place in my heart as well. Tupac, because Tupac made it so that you could have a Kanye West. He was doing stuff like Brenda's Got a Baby, but he was also doing I Get Around. And he was doing it was just, he was like he was doing a lot of the parts of being a human being, a lot of parts of being a man. Because sometimes as a man you are boastful, and then sometimes as a man you're afraid that you may be subject to violence in some way, or sometimes you may be afraid that that you don't respect women in the way that you need to. And like he was a perfect dichotomy of, well, I don't want to say perfect, but he was a good example of dichotomy. No, he did some bad stuff. He was a bad boy.
He was.
He was a bad
Not that way.
But,
He was just
but
with Digital Underground.
as far as music goes, he was an example of you can definitely dip your toes in a lot of different aspects of being a human being. And I think Biggie, I love Biggie, but Biggie only gave you the braggadocious mafioso side, and that's a hard pill to swallow when you're never going to be a gang member or a drug dealer.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but like sometimes you need something that you're going to just do the laundry to, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different.
Well, do you feel like you are a spokesman for that?
I feel like I'm just a spokesman for my life, because like what you're getting in those records is pretty much all me, and that's what I tried to get away from that with Creatures and Clouds, because Creatures and Clouds, I don't want it to just be another example of Tino as a person. So I try to get away from that aspect. But yeah, when you listen to those songs, you're listening to me. You're listening. Back in '86 is about how I dropped out of school, and I felt like I was going to let my parents down, but I wanted them to know everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much the sincerity in that. When I wrote Midwest Sorrow was just me, just making it okay to be vulnerable. Because a lot of times I grew up, I felt like I had this big armor on that I just could not let anybody see into who it was that I was, because that would be weakness. And Midwest Sorrow was me accepting that it's okay. And that's something I learned from working with Moira, because Moira taught me how to make beauty out of the sad things and the soft and the hurt. And so I just tried to take that and take it a step further for my own artistry. And it's just that's all you're getting is in these songs, you're just getting me. For the most part, sometimes you get a story. It may not involve me, but it may involve something that I've heard. Like the Martin stuff, I got the song where I'm talking about. It's called Acquired Taste, and it's like about a kid who starts off and he means well, but he ends up selling drugs, and then his uncle betrays him, and then after his uncle betrays him, he ends up going to jail, and he learns that everything about this life is not what it's cracked up to be. And that's in that little moment, I'm trying to teach you the kind of things that Tupac did. He's like, yeah, you can be a thug, but sometimes being a thug means that you always are looking over your shoulder, or you're always subject to going under arrest, and then not meeting your children. Like that, at the end of the story, like he won't even see his kid until the kid's 10 years old at that point. So it's just about teaching you. I try to give you just life and life and how I see it. Sometimes it's from a perspective of a black man. Sometimes it's from the perspective like people too. I tried to put myself in other people's shoes. Like, it was like I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of being a female, and it's about being empathetic because I'll never or. Is it sympathetic? I always sometimes empathetic because I never went through it myself. Trying about being empathetic and trying to put yourself, because I don't know I know what it's like to be a black man, but I don't know what it's like to be a black woman or a woman in general. And I'm making 70 or making 80% or 70% of what another person doing the same job is making, and there's no way for me to fight ahead. I've never been a person in the LGBTQ plus arena, but I know what it's like to have discriminatory things be said against you just because of how you look. And so I try to embody that because somebody has to say it, even if it was uncomfortable for me because at that time I was feeling like maybe I'm not the person to say it as a cis black male to speak on these things, or even immigration in that same song. It's like I'm trying to put myself in a lot of different shoes. I think somebody has to do it. And if I'm not hearing anybody else do it, then maybe I should step up to the plate. And so I was a little nervous about it, but because you also have I always have the fear. I don't want to come off as pandering. I want to be
Yeah. In that Tiny Stacks, was that an MF Doom ring you had on?
Yes, yes, it was.
Sprinkle looked it up beforehand, and I said, I think he had an MF Doom ring on his. It was either that or he's a huge comic book fan.
That ring I wore in a video for the first time when I put out a song called "Wait a While," and it was a giveaway. If you could spot the MF Doom logo in the video, you would get a gift card.
Oh, man.
And people were like,
Good thing I didn't see it.
People were like, I never saw the MF Doom, and it was on my finger the whole time.
Amazing.
But also that video came out on October 31st, which was the 1 year anniversary of his passing. Because he had passed on the 31st, but then nobody knew until New Year's Eve. In a very MF Doom fashion.
Yeah, well, it's all mystery, and who knows if it was him or not when he was playing live. Did you ever go back and listen to his earlier stuff?
Because
when he was KMD.
Yeah,
like
Love Sadat. Was it Love Sadat X? Was it?
Zen Love X.
Zen Love X. That's it.
Yeah, Zen Love X back when he was on like third base.
Yeah, my friend, huge fan of that. My guy Pseudo. He's also an MC. He's also a glass blower. And he lives in Yellow Springs. He's a big fan of all that obscure, older hip hop. Yeah.
I love that stuff. Newer, just curious, in the hip hop world, any newer artists that excite you, not just in Dayton, but just in general?
That is always a weird question because I go to think about the things because I'm so bad with names. Hip hop wise, I've been listening to a British rapper called Tennant. He's and I've liked some of the stuff that Tennant does. In Cincinnati, always loved Devin Burgess. He does stuff. He goes by Devin Burgess, but sometimes you'll hear him call himself Keisha, which is hilarious. To me.
Keisha.
Yeah, new Keisha. But then in Ohio, there's just a ton of people like John P, the MC, or Sean P, the MC, is out of Canton, Ohio.
Okay. And
he's incredible. And he does a lot of great stuff. And then you got Trigno, who is up in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And I listen to his stuff and I go, that's stupid good. Then you got Issa Ali, you got my guy Merk, who puts out stuff, and they're from Yellow Springs area.
Wow.
And it's just a ton of, I try to stay and make sure that I stay as local as I can because it's like, there's tons of guys listening to La Russell and stuff like that. But there's the people who could use the support are the ones that you actually can physically reach out to.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that we reached out to have you on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man,
I'm
Thanks,
sorry,
man.
running my mouth for.
No.
That's
The
it.
only reason we have to wrap is because we got to get out of the building.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain time.
It was awesome.
But thank you,
Thank you,
Tino, for
Tino.
giving us so much of your time. We look forward. Hopefully, we can see you at Porch Fest this year.
Or before Creatures
Creatures in Clouds.
Clouds, which that's a cool name. Is that in June? Did you say
We're playing June 19th, Juneteenth
At Blind Bob.
at Yellow Cab.
Yellow Cab?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, we follow them, so we'll make sure to.
Yeah.
To know when you're doing
Yeah, I'll try
something
and
next.
cross promote it because it's a new thing.
Yeah.
We chose that name because I was like, man, kids, we don't look up like we used to at the clouds and see things. Like you used to look up and see things, and I think that's what music helps artists and people do is look up and use their imagination and see those pictures that they don't.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
That's a
unplug
cool
to be
name.
able to do that.
Yeah, you do.
gotta
'Cause
unplug.
if you're looking down at this phone at the screen, you never look up.
Can't see the clouds. Tino, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. We look forward to seeing what's next in your musical arc, and thank you so much.
Just love your story, man.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Sorry, I
Thanks.
feel like I was
Oh,
rambling.
No, it's awesome, dude.
Thank you, dude.
Great.
Thanks, appreciate it.